Hope you're doing well. A great question we've gotten has been, why are you doing this? And I think it's a very fair one. So I thought I'd take a quick moment to jump into why we're doing this, who we are. So I play a ton of RTS games. I play an enormous amount of all the classic ones, Age of Empires, StarCraft, Warcraft, classic genre games. And they're phenomenal. And there have been some really great new games this past decade in the RTS space that are bringing all sorts of cool new mechanics into play. But this game is rooted very much in a passion for the classics of the genre. So it's purely isometric, top down. Uh, we're taking advantage of where computers have gotten to have just massive, massive tile sets. The hope is that the tile sets in this game are like the largest out there. In addition to that, we're going to have really high player counts. Right now we support 16 players with a appropriate amount of units ascribed to them. So you've got each player is going to have hundreds of units. So it's a lot to tackle. But we've got 16 players working well concurrently right now. And the hope is that the game gets to a point where we've got it to 90 players. We're going to keep just pushing it up until it breaks, basically. And this is over a high time duration. So we're up to 90 days. That's in place right now. During the play testing, we're pulling down the servers after a week or two, but we've had them go for longer periods of time, and it's not been a problem. So, maybe we'll look at having one of these stay up longer. The core game mechanics are going to look, in some cases, very familiar to you if you played a lot of RTS games. We have some interesting twists to how we handle the servers being live for so long, with some decay elements that are not terribly common in RTS games nowadays. There are diplomacy mechanics that are a work in progress, not where we want them to be, but that we're actively working on. It should be out over the next month or two. Marketplaces are live, so there is a certain, there is an economy. Most of the resources are perishable. The goal is to have some amount of renewable resources, because I think that's probably going to be necessary in addition to the economy. But yeah, so there are definitely going to be elements of this that are largely familiar, and that's intentional. We want it to be something that casual gamers can play that's fun, where the economics of the game aren't driven towards primarily esports players. Because the reality is that while I love to play competitively, I'm cognizant I'm never going to be an esports player. And the reality is that most of us that play PvP want to have a fun, competitive time doing so, but that the goal isn't to go win some huge esports tournament. So it's kind of, I think, ridiculous that so many games now, when they're building out the business case or the business rationale for them, they're doing so with an esports focus, because it's kind of BS, I think. And that kind of explains why something like this doesn't exist nowadays, is because financially it makes horrific sense. But figured to give it a go. 2 years into this thing, and we'll continue doing it the next few years and see where it ends up at. Thanks. Cheers.